the Pond the Hockey Post-Game Show. I'm Devin Caney, and it is time for our Jeff D'Ambrosio Auto Group Drive of the Game. Go JeffAuto.com. Guys, this segment is always interesting because, earlier in the season, I felt like there were almost too many drives for us to choose from. And recently, whenever I have to intro this one, it's like, who do I call on first? Because there's only like one drive to pick. And D-Gun, I'm going to fulfill your wishes because while we were watching the game, you turned to me and you were like, please come to me first.
Yeah, you know what? Right? You know
what? I'm nice, and out of the kindness of my heart, I'm going to go to you first, D-Gun.
You know why? Because we'll probably all agree on the same drive. So, well, you cheated, man. Yes. You grandstanded me? Is that what you did?
Hey,
I
got you before you got me.
All right. I can't think of anything other than the 12-play, 80-yard drive that consumes 6:27 on the clock, and Boston Scott punches it in from the 8-yard line. I mean, when you look at the overall game, this was an ugly game, and that was one of the few bright spots of this game, other than the team clinching the number 1 seed. Okay, Mr. Joyner, that is my drive of the game.
I just want to say on that drive, I loved that they fed Boston Scott, like Nick Sirianni, the king of pandering. He knows what gets the fans going. He knows that we all want Boston Scott. I think I had money. Everyone had a bet on a Boston Scott anytime touchdown. So I'm glad that he did that early on in this game because the last time they played the Giants, that was like a garbage time touchdown for the Eagles. So, Seth.
You go ahead, Seth.
Sorry, Mike's trying to get
since you grandstanded
the drive of the game.
You're wrong for that.
I'll make it up to you in the playoffs, Mike. I promise.
You're wrong for that, Seth.
You know what the drive of the game was?
What?
when the fans left the stadium today. That's the drive of the game. Because mine's the same as yours, so that's the best I can come up with. Go ahead, Mike.
Mr. Missinelli?
It's the same drive. Now, I would point out that there were only 2 passing plays of significance in that drive. One was a short pass to Goddard on a 3rd down, and of course was the big play to AJ. But it was a steady diet of runs until he got down there, and then they finished it off with a run. So if we're looking at, it looks like it was even with 6 and 6, but in reality, there were only 2 pass plays of significance. They really ran the ball to get down to score that touchdown. Yeah. So that's the drive of the game.
Well, when it comes to running and throwing the ball, I do think Jalen Hurts wasn't super sharp today, but I think that's also to be expected when you're coming off of an injury and he's been out for several weeks. I saw a lot of people worried, complaining about the lack of running the ball. I know you were kind of concerned about Miles Sanders maybe not looking totally right. He was wearing a brace. Was it this week, last week? Maybe not totally 100% healthy. Is that a concern for you guys?
No, because I think he had the brace on last week. I thought it was precautionary. I saw him early in the week without the brace on in practice. And then he shows up today in the game without the brace on. Now, if it's serious enough for him to have to wear a brace last week in the game, then I would assume that it would be serious enough for him to have to wear it in practice and also wear it in the game today.
True.
And he didn't have it on. So to me,
So you didn't think it affected his play today?
No, I just don't think that. Listen, Miles, if you go back and you look the last couple of weeks, Miles is averaging right around 10, 11 carries a game. He had 10 today. Boston Scott had 9 today. Kenneth Gainwell had 5. They had 34 carries, but Jalen had 9. So you take that away, that's 25. And I don't know how many of those that Jalen had, how many of those 9 were actually pass plays where he was forced to vacate the pocket, and run with the football. But I just don't feel like, it's there. I get the sense that the run game is an afterthought for this football team. I really think that they really buy into, we're going to throw the ball early and get a lead. And then once we get a lead, we're going to run the ball to run the clock out and, and get in our 4-minute offense. But the problem is they haven't been really efficient the last 3 weeks at throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down. And when they don't at least win on 1st or 2nd down, then they get into problems as far as the 3rd down situation is concerned, because now you're trying to convert 3rd and 7 to 12. Well, guess what? A good, smart defensive coordinator is going to speed up your quarterback and make him take the short pass on 3rd and long and make the tackle for 3 yards and make you punt the football.
Right.
So they've got to be better on first and second down as far as their play calling and getting themselves into third and manageable situations.
You know, it's funny. They started the game with the bang play that always worked, and that was the slant to A.J. Brown, which got 35 yards on that first down. And then they passed the ball 5 more times until they stall down. They get the field goal, but from Elliott. So I don't know. Maybe that play hurt them a little bit, and they say, okay, that's available all game. So we're going to throw it short with him. We're going to bust that slant. But they kind of never went back to that slant.
Yeah. Did they not go back to it, or did the Giants take it away?
Maybe they took it away.
You know what I mean? We don't know until we rewatch the game again. But you're right. The game plan for me for the last 3 weeks make no sense with this team. You know, I'm confused. And every time we sit and analyze and try to predict what we think they should do, they come out and do something completely opposite. So you've got 2 weeks to decide who you are and what you want to be, and what do you get back to that makes you that dominant offense that you were for much of the season leading up to that Dallas rematch. That's what this team needs to do to get to where they want to go.
I'm also looking for the creativity and plays off of that.
Yeah.
We know that the slant is their bread and butter because most cornerbacks aren't big enough to stop A.J. Brown from getting that ball. Once he gets you on his back, it's too late. So I'm waiting to find out give me something off of that, okay? We've seen a pick 6 off of that same slant last week. What is your adjustment to the slant to A.J. Brown? Now if you're going to play off and outside technique, you can have that all day long. That's like me.
Right.
That's like me in my backyard playing catch with my son all day long. They can have that, okay? But there's going to come a point in times where the cornerback is going to get up and challenge A.J. And what do you have off of that? What's your alternative to that play? Because everyone knows that that's a staple. That's a bread and butter play within this offense.
All right, well, we are going to give out some game balls coming up after this quick message from our sponsors.
Carfest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says yes, you can. Jeff says yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say no, you can't, Jeff says yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.